Hi everyone, welcome back to Btech360. So Delhi University has finally released the round 2 cutoff for its BTech courses. So all of us know Delhi University has 3 BTech courses under FOD, that is Faculty of Technology, which are CSE, ECE and Electrical Engineering. So the cutoff for round 2 is finally out. Now this is a good time to analyze whether the cutoff has increased or decreased and what to expect for round 3. So based on your rank, what is the probability of you getting a seat in round 3 of the DU cutoff? Now unlike JOSA and CSEP counseling where the cutoff almost always falls, that is the cutoff decreases in subsequent rounds, that's not the case for Delhi University. There is a good chance that the cutoff can increase as well as decrease in the next round. So in this particular video, we are going to do a full analysis of the round 2 cutoff that was released by Delhi University, and I am also going to tell you what to expect in round 3. Now this particular information and guidance series is presented by Amity University, one of India's leading university and ranked among the top 3% globally. Do like the video and subscribe to the channel before moving ahead. Now in case you have any doubt regarding the counseling, whether it's the JOSA counseling or the CSEP counseling, we have a helpline number for you. The number is 813-037-6334. All you need to do is text BTech on this particular number and a senior counselor from our team will reach out and will make sure that all your queries are resolved. Now let's start. So what we are going to do is we are going to analyze the category wise cutoff for all the 3 different branches. We'll start with the electrical engineering branch. Now the electrical engineering branch, the cutoff is comparatively easier to analyze, so we'll start with that. Now, how are we going to discuss this? So round 2 cutoffs are out, right? So we are going to discuss category wise what was the round 2 cutoff earlier, that is previously in 2025, the round 2 cutoff. Then the same round 2 cutoff this year, the cutoff that was released a few days back, whether the cutoff has increased or decreased. So we'll see how much it has increased or how much it has decreased. Then we'll also discuss the final closing rank for that particular branch and that particular category. That is, what was the highest closing rank for electrical engineering category wise last year. So this figure will give you an idea what to expect in round 3. So let's start. First, we have electrical engineering. The first category where majority students belong to is the unreserved category. In 2025, in round 2, it closed at 93,971, the electrical branch, but this year it closed early at 93,427. So the cutoff has increased by 544 rank, and this same branch, it closed last year in the third round at 1,02,218 rank. Now the next category, in OBC-NCL, electrical engineering closed in 2025 at round 2 in 1.48 lakh rank, but this time it closed at 1.46 lakh rank. So it closed earlier, the cutoff has increased by 1,808 rank, and this branch, it closed in OBC-NCL last year at a highest cutoff of the highest closing rank was 1,58,474. Then SC category, last year it closed at 4,05,000 and this year it closed at 3,47,000. So the cutoff increased by 58,097 ranks, and this branch last year in SC category it closed at 4,23,000. In ST category last year in round 2 it closed at 13,52,000, but this year it closed almost at the half of that particular rank, that is 7,26,000. So that's a huge difference, 6,26,000, and the branch closed in ST category at 14,69,000 earlier. Then EWS category, last year in round 2 in EWS it closed at 1,18,000. This year it closed at 1,12,000. So the cutoff increased by 5,835 ranks, and previously in EWS the highest closing rank for this was 1,26,000. Now, the last category is the PwD beat category. In round 2, earlier electrical engineering closed at 10,35,000. This year, it closed at 12,77,000. So, the PwD category is the only category where the cutoff has fallen by 2,42,000. And last year, the highest closing rank for PwD for electrical engineering was 11,25,000. So, as you can see, all these were the cutoffs for the final round, which is round 3. So this was for the first branch, which is electrical engineering. Now let's move on. Let's discuss the next branch. Now the next branch is ECE, electronics and communication engineering. Now here what we are going to do, here the trend is a bit different. So we'll first discuss the difference between last year and this year, and the final cutoff we'll discuss that later. So let's start with the first category. In unreserved category, ECE closed at 83,925 in 2025's round 2, but in this year's round 2, it closed at 76,787. So the cutoff has increased by 7,137. 7 rank. Then in OBC-NCL category, last year it closed at 1,32,000. This year it closed at 1,26,000. So the cutoff increased by 6,084 rank. Then in SC category, last year the branch closed at 3,66,000 in round 2. In this year's round 2, it closed at 3,10,000. So the cutoff increased by 55,775 rank. Then in ST category, it closed at 10,99,000. This year, it closed at 6,53,000. So the cutoff increased by 4,46,000 ranks. Then in EWS, last year it closed at 1,08,000. This year, it closed at 99,000. So the cutoff increased by 8,797. And in the last category, in the PwD category, last year it closed at 7,76,000. Now let's discuss the round 3 cutoff for 2025, that is last year. Now here you can see that in the unreserved category, ECE in round 3, it closed at 78,339. Now this is a very unique number. Why is it a unique number? Because when we saw electrical engineering, in that the round 2 cutoff was lesser in comparison to the round 3, because that's what usually happens. In round 1 you will have a cutoff, and in round 2 the cutoff will be less in comparison to round 1. But here what's happening is, in round 3 the cutoff is greater than the cutoff in round 2. So a lesser rank means a greater cutoff, right? Now how is this happening? So this is happening because of mid-entry in Delhi University. Now what usually happens in JOSA or CSEP counseling is, a group of students, they register before the counseling starts, and they are the students that keep participating in round 1, then in round 2 the cutoff decreases, then in round 3 the cutoff decreases more. So like this, in subsequent rounds the cutoff keeps decreasing. But in Delhi University, there's a concept called mid-entry. So what happened last year is, after round 2 cutoff, the mid-entry happened, because of which there were fresh registrations. So students who had not registered for round 1 or round 2, which some of them having a better rank, they entered mid-process, because of which the cutoff increased. So the round 3 cutoff increased for ECE and the CSE, that we will be discussing next, in round 3. Because of which you will see a higher cutoff in round 3 in comparison to round 2. So here we have 78,339 for unreserved category. Then in OBC-NCL we have 93,004 rank. Then SC category, it in round 3 it was 2.48 lakh rank. Then ST category 6,22,000. EWS category 1,08,000 and PwD category 5,65,000. So these were the round 3 cutoff earlier, which is in 2025. Now let's discuss the third branch, which is CSE, Computer Science and Engineering. So here in unreserved category in 2025 in round 2, it closed at 72,995, whereas this year it closed earlier at 63,272. So the cutoff increased by 9,723 ranks. Then in OBC-NCL category, previously in round 2, the CSE closed at 1,15,000. This year it closed at 1,03,000. So the cutoff increased by 11,902 rank. Then in SC category, previously it closed at 3,31,000. This year it closed at 2,71,000. So the cutoff increased by 59,822 ranks. Then in ST category, earlier it closed at 7,81,000. This year it closed at 5,13,000. So the cutoff increased by a massive difference of 2,68,000 rank. Then EWS category, earlier it closed at 99,000. This year it closed at 80,000. So the cutoff increased by 19,620 rank. And PwD category is the only category where the cutoff has decreased. Earlier it closed at 6,15,000. This year it closed at 7,93,000. So the cutoff decreased by 1,77,000. Now, except for the PwD category, there were no further allocation in the CSE branch in 2025 year. Only for PwD category seats were allotted, and the highest closing rank was 4,70,000. So this was a complete analysis of all 3 branches of DU's FOT. ECE branch, CSE branch and electrical engineering branch. Now based on this data, we can conclude that the ECE and CSE branch, they faced a major difference in round 3's cutoff because of the mid-entry. Now the most important question here is what to expect this year. So till now, DU has not released any official announcement of a mid-entry. What happened earlier, that is in year 2025, was after round 2 concluded, within just 2 days, mid-entry rounds were announced and the application opened. It closed within 2 days, and after that round 3 was conducted. So this year no such announcements have been done. So we can mostly be sure that no mid-entry will be conducted before round 3, because if it was going to happen, then DU would have released an announcement. since no announcement is there, we can safely assume that mid-entry won't be there and round 3 would be the next round, and also leads to a conclusion, since there is no mid-entry, the cutoffs will decrease in round 3. So that was the total analysis of DU's FOT BTech branches. Thank you so much for watching. If you have any doubt, make sure you mention that in the comment or reach out to us on our helpline number.